everybody's aware. But it's going to go.
No, because when I was on the payroll at St. John's, I did automatic deposit.
What's our school?
Well, I'm not a big
Struggling.
Are we all live now?
We're live.
We're live? Okay, very good.
When Grand Haven made the decision to free preschool, we lost a bunch of preschool.
Good evening. It is Monday, February 2nd, 2026. It's time to call the Ferrisburg City Council meeting to order. Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Here.
Councilmember Sias.
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch.
here.
Councilmember Kate.
Yep.
Councilmember DeWitt. Councilmember Cook.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here. Thank you so much. If we could all rise for an invocation by Councilmember Bill Kate, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
We pray. Gracious God, we thank you so much for the day now finishing, and we ask your blessings on the night ahead, especially during our meeting time here, that you would lead us and guide us to be good stewards of the resources you have given us. I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you all. Moving on to item 5, public comments. This time is on the agenda for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the City Council. Time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please position yourself in line near the wall where the podium is located to ensure visibility and to be recognized. And after being recognized by the mayor, please give your name and your address of residency for the record and proceed with your comment or question. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment tonight?
Is this on? Lisa Royce, 17700 Navajo. We're all from Ottawa County. We all lived through our small little project 2025 the last couple years and voted the majority out. Now we have it on the national scale. There's over 34,000 ICE watchers in the country right now, watching out for citizens, our neighbors, immigrants. We're all immigrants because, you know, we live on stolen land. So I'm not quite sure what this country's doing. Russell Vought, Stephen Miller are big architects, and most Republicans know who that is. Democrats maybe not so much, but they're starting to figure out who they are. I'm just wondering when it comes down to when they show up here. We have a lot of immigrants in Ottawa County with all of our farming and stuff. And I've been protesting for the past year. I know Jerry's seen me on the bridge. Can't be on there now because it's a little dicey, icy there. But we protest in Muskegon, we protest in Grand Haven, and we will continue to protest. I don't get paid to protest. It's not a paid thing. I make all my own signs and buy my own shirts from wherever I get them. But we need to do something. My daughter just moved. It got dual citizenship in Ireland. Cost her $175 for the application and $950 in 5 years of waiting time. We need to figure out immigration in this country, and I'm hoping that our city leaders will protect the citizens in Ottawa County and uphold our state. We're a state. We're not federal, and we should. I'm appalled at what's happening in this country. It's gut wrenching, and now that you got Second Amendment rights for a legal guy, I never thought it'd be the Republican Party that would go after the Second Amendment rights for a legal carry for Alex. You know, unbelievable what's happening in this country, and I hope you guys all stand up when it comes knocking on our door. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regina Schoberg, 17542 Parkwood Drive. For years, as both a council member and a citizen, I campaigned for an ethics ordinance. That being said, I do support repealing the current ordinance. When it was proposed, former Mayor Hopp said that nefarious people would use it with ill intent, and it was thus used. It was weaponized just as our charter was weaponized to eliminate people from the ballot. There was a time when I was accused of buying my position on the Planning Commission. It was put in the paper. I was not even contacted to rebut, even though the State Board of Elections said everything was fine. We did everything. We corrected our mistake. We were honest. So I contacted my lawyer and said I wanted to sue Hopp for defamation. And he told me that public people have a very slight chance of ever winning a defamation case. But he said I might have a case against the city for allowing citizens to use public resources on personal attacks. I didn't want to do that because I respect you too much, Mayor Carlson. And you, I think half of them were against me and the other half were against you, these so-called ethics complaints. So I think you are dodging a bullet by getting rid of this. I think it's a good thing to get rid of it. But I do wonder if, my question is, we have standards of conduct for officers and employees of the city of Ferrisburg, and we have rules of conduct for city officers and employees. And as far as I know, those were never repealed. So I'm wondering if I might give them to you, and you can either include it in a future agenda to reiterate or include, in, may I approach and give them to you then?
Thank you.
I'd also like to congratulate the winners of the last election, and Ms. Councilmember Cook, welcome. It's great to see a new face up here, and I'm really impressed by your research skills. I saw in the planning packet that you even had some really germane questions about water and sewage hookup for accessory buildings, and it's great to have somebody that knows research. And this is from a librarian, so you know it's a good kudo. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that'd like to speak in public comment tonight? Seeing none, let's move on. Item number 6 is a consideration for approval of the consent agenda. 6A, approve the December 15th, 2025 City Council minutes as revised and the July 5th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes as printed. 6B, approve the bills memo in the amount of $268,249.01. 6C, approve the 2026-2027 municipal joint early voting site agreement between Spring Lake Township, Robinson Township, Grand Haven Township, City of Grand Haven, and the City of Ferrisburg, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign all necessary documents. 6D, adopt ordinance number 342, an ordinance to repeal in its entirety ordinance 336, the ethics ordinance. 6E, approve an agreement for election publishing services between the City of Ferrisburg and the County of Ottawa, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign all necessary documents. 6F, discussion to take action if appropriate to approve the schedule of March Board of Review meetings, Tuesday, March 3rd, Monday, March 9th, and Tuesday, March 10th. And 6G, discussion to take action if appropriate to approve a 5-day waiver of enforcement of City Code 9117B7, prohibitive noises for the construction of Smith's Bridge. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion from anyone?
I have a comment and 2 questions. My comment is, we got a letter from a citizen stating they couldn't hear all the council members when we would debate. So I would just like to reiterate what that individual said, which was when you talk, please talk directly into the microphone so it's recorded. My first question is, what is the difference between item agenda 6C and 6E? They seem like they're the same thing.
So agenda item 6C is addressing our early vote agreement amongst the 5 jurisdictions here so we can run the election as a municipal agreement. The other agreement is between City of Ferrisburg and Ottawa County solely for publishing and advertising prices for election run ads.
Okay, so first question is related to 6C. There's actually multiple questions, but in the agenda packet, there's a statement in the memo to council stating that Ottawa County no longer supports early voting. I assume they used to administer it. Why do they no longer support that or do it?
So early voting was first introduced in 2024, and the county supported a countywide agreement. All jurisdictions in Ottawa County supported said agreement. We all worked together at 4 different voting locations. They found the time and resources required on their behalf, in addition to what clerks were still working and election inspectors, was too much. So they requested that we all saw either a municipal agreement or independent agreements, or just jurisdictional agreements.
Okay, the agreement says that the city of Ferrisburg is responsible for an equal share, which would be 20% of the total cost. The total cost is not stated in the contract, and I would like to know whether 20% of the share is actually cheaper than just doing it ourselves.
Very much so. So the cost of equipment, we're able, by pooling everyone together, we have enough equipment utilizing Spring Lake. We do not have to purchase much. There's a few items that you'll see in the agreement that we're going out to purchase. Otherwise, the largest saving by going in a municipal agreement is we're paying the 3 days, or the 2 days we're supporting early vote, we'll be paying for our election inspectors solely for 2 days versus 9. That's where all of us are going to see a number of savings across the board.
Thank you. There's another question related to that agreement. There's a section titled insurance, and there's a clause in the insurance that states that we will obtain insurance and indemnify Ottawa County in the amount of $1 million on an insurance policy. My question is, why are we doing that when they're not participating?
I will confirm and look into that further for you. I'm going to assume at this time was a liability insurance, but how you're reading that in the tie to Ottawa County, I'll confirm that for you.
Okay, last question related to that agreement is, it states the agreement is effective between January 1st, 2026 and sometime, I think, in 2028. So are we under the impression that if we approve it tonight, it's retroactive until the first of the year, even though it's February 2nd right now?
Correct. The agreement will run through from the time it's approved now through all of 2026 through all of 2027. It'll be a 2-year term. That's how we had written the original agreement as well with Ottawa County for 24 and 25.
Is there any liability to the city for having something retroactive for a month before we approved it?
No, there wasn't any election-related activities taking place at that time.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns concerning the consent agenda? Hearing none. Amber?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to new business, 7A, discussion.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I would like to add to the agenda a quick discussion on Smith Bridge. Couple minute discussion. You can put it wherever you want.
Section
Mr.
L.
Parliamentarian, where would you like to stick that?
A discussion on Smith Bridge?
Yeah.
7L?
Now?
L?
L? Okay. You just want to title it Smith Bridge, Mr. DeWitt?
Yeah, I just got a couple quick questions. I went over the engineering specs and I have some questions for Craig.
Okay. And Craig, there was an addition as well to our agenda that you had emailed us.
Right, it's not an addition, it's just a revision to 7C, the language. That's regarding the purchase of the fire truck.
10-4, got it. Okay, real good. Okay, so we've got that added as 7L then for Smith Bridge. Moving forward on 7A, discussion to take action if appropriate to remove from the table and assign the development and reimbursement agreement between the City of Ferrisburg Brownfield Redevelopment Authority and Roosevelt Road LLC to Ferrisburg Artemis Holdings LLC. I'd entertain a motion and support on that.
I'll make a motion to remove it from the table.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion to bring this off? table? Seeing none, Amber?
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7B, discussion and take action if appropriate to assign the development and reimbursement agreement between the City of Ferrysburg Brownfield Redevelopment Authority and Roosevelt Road LLC to Ferrysburg Artemis Holdings LLC. Craig, you want to fill us in and we'll get a motion and support?
Stillwater Development had a reimbursement agreement, and it was with the Artemis Company. And they requested it after the state looked at it. There was a multiple LLCs in their agreement, and the state requested that it go down to one LLC, Easy Track. And so Stillwater Development has requested it be assigned to the new LLC. The city attorney has looked at it, has no concerns. He had a question about who was involved in the LLC, and that information is included in your packet.
Entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Any discussion on this?
So we received correspondence, I think, from the resident agent stating that they're involved in both the holding company they intend to transfer the agreement to, as well as the original Roosevelt Road LLC. That was my main concern. So I'm comfortable with this. I just wanted to do our due diligence and make sure we weren't putting the city at greater risk.
Anyone else have anything to add to this? No? Okay, Amber?
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7C, discussion and take action if appropriate. Read this properly. Discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a bid from Spencer Manufacturing for $646,095 for a new fire truck, and to approve an amendment to Fund 272 Vehicle Replacement Fund to increase revenue line item 272-000-677.000 by $650,000, and to increase expenditure line item 272-335-970-100 by $650,000. I need a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Motion and support. Craig, you want to fill us in on this?
Yes, the fire department has a truck that needs to be replaced. Earlier this year, or late last fall, we went out for invitation for proposals. We sent it out for 6 companies. 3 companies responded. The fire department went through the bids and has made a recommendation to go with Spencer. They're out of South Haven. They've done our last truck. The fire department has been pleased with it. Satisfied with be able to go down there and get it serviced relatively close. The fire chief is here. If you explain the process of how they determined their recommendation.
Anyone have any questions for the chief or Craig on this?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to the chief quick a minute. Hey, you show up, we put you to work. Okay, I'm assuming this is what, you spec'd out exactly what we need?
Yes, sir. It's basically replacing almost exactly what we have.
Okay, my next question is, we were discussing whether we wanted to can we keep our current truck on the road for the 2 years it's gonna take to manufacture this?
Absolutely.
Okay, the other question I had is, I couldn't read your email on the cost to keep the current truck in service.
And I didn't bring that paper with me. Craig, do you have that in front of you?
No, I don't.
I don't remember what.
Somebody was telling me,
I've
it's-
got it.
you got it?
I think.
For some reason, I couldn't pull up your email on that one.
Yeah, I've got it.
It's showing the cost would be $4,332, and we would additionally need to install or reinstall a garage door, and the current quote for that is $4,000.
So we're looking at 8,000 to keep it as a backup?
Initially,
For the first year.
for the first year.
Okay, and then we're looking at 20 to 30,000, is that correct to recertify it in 2 years or 3 years or whatever?
No, no,
4,000.
the 4,000 a year is what you're looking at, and I put 1,000 for miscellaneous repair in that. It'd be like 30, off the top of my head, $3,200 a year roughly with insurance and, regular maintenance.
Okay, so my question is that something that you would recommend, or should we just sell it?
We're replacing it with one. We've always sold the other ones in the past. I don't know if it's really necessary to hold on to.
Okay,
I
so-
understand your concern from that meeting a couple months ago regarding, the new equipment and that, but.
That was my question, Chief. There is a market for these used trucks?
Well,
that we can
there's
get rid
there's
of?
a lot of them out there,
Yeah.
and Craig had asked yesterday about trying to determine a price, and I've seen a lot of different prices out there. And it depends on how you go. The last truck we sold, we went through a broker, and the broker got more money than we did. So I don't know if we
Well,
try to
either way, selling it doesn't cost us
right,
like it would to keep it,
right,
right?
right.
Thank you.
I guess what I'm hearing from you is you recommend we sell it at that point?
I would think so. I think that would probably be the
That's all I got.
smart thing to do.
Thank you.
I've got some questions. So my first question is, why was this done as an invitation-only RFP, a request for bid? So this is $650,000. I worked in government procurement for a long time. Normally what we do, and I'm not familiar with this type of equipment, but we post this and let anyone respond who can. So I asked Craig, how did we solicit bids? The response was we reached out to 6 companies and we asked them for a quote and only 3 responded. So why did we do that instead of just post this publicly somewhere for people to bid on?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I can't answer that question. It's just the same process that we've used for all 4 trucks that I've bought. We put it out to 6 or 7 companies, and pretty much all of them should be able to meet the specs that are there because they all use pretty much the same parts from the same suppliers. And to be honest with you, Dave, that's the way we've done it in the past. That's the way I did it. I wasn't aware of another way.
Why didn't 3 of them respond? Do we know? Did they write back and just say, sorry, I'm not
Well,
interested?
I had one call me back and state that and the gist I got from him is there wasn't enough bells and whistles on it to make money. That's the gist I got from them. And then one of the other ones that called me wanted some additional information, and I gave them that additional information, and I didn't get a reply in the bid. So I'm not sure if they weren't interested or. And then one we just didn't hear from.
So as part of the agenda packet, we received a hand-filled out summary, I think, of the bids. We asked for the detailed bid responses. I read through them. Then I asked for the document that was used to solicit the bids. It's very detailed. So it's several pages long. It has all the specifications. That bid document also has columns that say the bidder meets the requirement or they don't. When I read the bid document and compared it to the quotes, the bid document is way more detailed than the quotes. I can't tell from the quotes whether we're getting what we need or not per the spec.
So when we requested the bids, we asked the bidders to create a sheet with all of the bid specifications and then to answer yes or no, could they meet that bid or not? And all 3 of them did reply with those bid sheets, and some took exception to some things and some took exception to others. Most came in with everything. One of the companies took like 5 or 6 exceptions, and it depends on how they build these units, how they're set up to build. One of them took exception to the wheelbase of the truck. We were looking for a little shorter wheelbase. They didn't meet that spec, so they took exception to that and put in there what they actually build. The things like that, we do have, every one of them filled those out. And then all three of them would have been more than capable of supplying us the truck that we need, and I wouldn't have had a problem with any of them. And then basically, in the end, it came down to basically the cost and the closeness of the company that had the low bid. And we have dealt with that company quite a bit in the past and have had very, very few issues. So I'm just more comfortable working with that company, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so we let the respondents fill out the bid tabulation. Did anyone from the city staff actually verify that, yeah, their response does mean they can meet the requirement or not?
I don't know if I quite understand that question, but when the bids were due at 10 o'clock that morning, I wasn't here because I was at a hazmat meeting, but you guys opened the bids and you guys.
Yeah, we opened and we record the amount that they say and any other qualifications that stood out. I think one of them was the chassis, if it was paid
Yeah,
for, there's
yep.
a discount, yeah.
So then what happens, Dave, is the 6 officers of the fire department got together, went through this bid packet, looked at them all. They all sent a detailed drawing of what they were going to supply. We all went over that. We went down the bid specs, if they matched, and looked at what they to. And so it wasn't just me saying this is the one we want to go with. It was all 6 of us that, and we understand what we need to work with. And basically, there isn't anything special about this truck. It's basically replacing what we've got. There isn't anything it's going to do different than what we're doing, other than it's going to be 30 years newer.
So we have something in writing from all 3 respondents
Yep.
stating that, yes, I meet the spec, or no, I don't, here's my deviation.
Yep.
So if we approve this tonight and we enter into agreement, we have something in writing that if we get the truck and it doesn't meet it, we've got legal recourse to go back and say, okay.
Yep.
I read through your recommendation. I read through the quotes again. The cost that they're bidding is just the upfront cost. Have we looked into what the actual 20-year carrying cost is? So I'll reiterate or explain a little bit of what that means. So sometimes when you buy a vehicle, all 3 vehicles you're looking at, one might be cheaper than the other just to buy it, but over 20 years of maintenance and repair, a more expensive model might be cheaper. Do we know what the 20-year cost of these trucks are? Are they all the same? Are they different?
Well, I can tell you by looking at some of the used stuff that I've been looking at after the question came up, what we could get for our old one. I think they're going to be pretty similar. And again, it depends on the amount of use, the amount of miles, the amount of pump time, and the maintenance over time, as far as what you're going to get for it. And I've been told trucks under 15 years old are going to get more than trucks over 15 years old. After 15 years, the amount that you get back is a lot less than anything 15 years or newer.
So before this came before the board, I asked, I think it was a meeting or 2 ago, that you guys meet with Spring Lake Township to discuss shared services. Do you mind providing a summary of what you guys discussed during that meeting?
Oh, man, we discussed a lot of different things. We did a lot of what we discussed is the services that we are currently sharing. When you sit down and put it down on paper, we share a lot of things already. Joint response on structure fires, joint training. We do a lot of joint training nowadays that we didn't used to do before. We utilize Spring Lake's CPR training guys to train our guys for CPR. It helped me out, Rich. You were in that meeting too.
Craig, did we not send a copy of that synopsis that we did to city council?
Yes, it
Meeting?
was. Yeah.
That was sent to city council?
Yes.
I noticed that discussing a potential merger of the departments was not included in that synopsis. That was something that was brought up several years ago. It was in the newspaper. Why wasn't that discussed during the meeting?
I believe it was discussed.
It was discussed.
Okay.
And I'm just not sure. I'm not sure why we didn't. I mean, we discussed a couple different things about possibly in 15 years when our aerial truck needs to be replaced. We talked about that, maybe buying that unit jointly when that time comes. There was some
And we also talked about the crash vehicle.
Yeah, an attenuator truck, we had discussed that, buying that jointly. I think a lot of it comes back to the pride of each department, and everybody wants to keep their name the way it is. And a lot of it comes back to how that department operates versus ours. I mean, we can certainly do the things that they're doing, but it's going to cost a lot more money. That's the thing, you know, I can put somebody in my station 24 hours a day if you want, but those things cost money, so.
David, in that synopsis that city council was emailed, we discussed all the joint sharing things that we're doing now. We discussed the attenuator truck. We also discussed the fact that we have the aerial truck, but we're not gonna be able to afford replacing it, and we may be doing that jointly. And then when we discussed about joining the departments, it's a matter of we placed a bug in our departments here and a bug in Spring Lake Township's here that, hey, this may be a possible solution down the road. But I don't think that we found that to be a workable solution now, did we, Chief?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't feel that that was gonna be, it wasn't gonna be entertained.
I would have liked there to have been more discussion about that item and possibly some financial analysis. Another thing that I will say is it looks like the Headley Amendment is going to come up for a discussion here possibly in a couple months. I think that looking at shared services is a great way to hedge and a great option to give our taxpayers and voters as opposed to just raising taxes across the board. I do appreciate the due diligence you guys put behind this fire truck. I understand that you wanted to buy it 5 years ago. You just weren't ready yet. Seems like we need it. I'm going to put my faith in staff and say that you guys did your due diligence. And based on what I have, the information now, I'm going to vote yes. But I would like us to continue to look for ways to share services with other municipalities, avoid things that are going to cost our taxpayers more in the future. So thank you.
Tell you, that is something that I have been doing continuously for 20 years. So, you know, when we discussed, I think one of the other things we discussed at that meeting was joint purchasing of equipment. Sometimes when departments get together, and we currently do that with the Muskegon area fire chiefs on occasion, if you're buying hose or something like that, if you buy bigger quantities, you get discount breaks, and we have done that. And John and Spring Lake are discussing those type of things too. But with those types of things, it depends on when your equipment ages out and when you have to replace it. If you match up at the time, we can do it. If not, you know, they have $1.5 million budget, and I've only got 200,000, so it has to fit with my budget too. So
Yeah, one more item.
we're doing the
So
best we can.
if we approve the truck, it's going to take a couple years, it sounds like, to get rid of it.
To get rid of it, well,
Or to get it, I
to
guess,
get
and
it, it's
inspect it.
I think it was 525 days. is
Do
what
you
was in the
need
bid.
anything from the board here to get rid of the old one, or can you just do that under your own volition?
I'm gonna have to do a little more investigative work on that as far as how we wanna go with that. I'm not sure, because I didn't feel we got enough money for the last truck we let go. And this truck's,
Typically, we bring it back to city council to
yep,
put this out for bid.
to put it out for
a
bid
truck.
and to approve it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions?
Chief?
Yes.
It's my understanding that you have been working with Spring Lake Township for all this time already.
Yes,
You have been jointly doing everything that David keeps saying he wants more of, but you've already been doing all of that, correct?
and we've had our auto aid agreement for 15 years now, I think.
Okay,
probably
so
pretty close
really
to
we have
15.
nothing more to discuss about that, because that's what's happening already.
Well, we're doing that.
Right,
We work together. So I talk to John 2-3 times a week, you know?
yeah.
If I need something, I'll call him. If he needs something, he calls me. It's not like there's walls built around us. It's just,
Right, and we're very lucky to have all of you right here in Ferrisburgh. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Chief or city staff? No? Seeing none. Amber, can you call roll, please?
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes,
Mayor Carlson,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you.
you're more than welcome. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Moving on to, go ahead. Moving on to 7D, Discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a proposal from Architectural Hardware Company for $23,100 to replace 3 exterior doors at City Hall. Greg?
Over the last couple of years, we've been trying to work on some maintenance items here at City Hall. A few years back, we've put a new roof on the building, we put a new boiler in. Now we're working on replacing some of the exterior doors to the building. Back in October of 2024, we replaced 3 sets of exterior doors. We got a couple quotes to replace 3 more sets of exterior doors, 1 in the gym, 1 in room 5, and 1 on the east wing. Those bids are in your packet. The low bid was Architectural Hardware. They done the last doors for us. They did a really nice job, and staff's been satisfied with those. We included money in the budget to get these doors done. We'll include some more money in the budget to do some additional renovations here at City Hall, more doors and possibly some windows in the future.
Okay. Entertain a motion so we can discuss this.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Okay, any discussion or questions for staff regarding this?
How were bids solicited?
I called 2 companies up, walked them through exactly what we're looking for, and that's how we responded.
Just a general procurement question, but do we have any connection to statewide sites to place bids and request for quotes instead of reaching out separately to certain contractors and asking for a quote?
Like My Deal, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're part of My Deal, and we're also part of Sourcewell.
Is there a procedure as to which purchases go through that process versus we just reach out to contractors and ask for quotes?
Really, there's no set process. Typically, if it's equipment, we'll look and see if it's My Deal or Sourcewell and see if we can get it through there. This is more a service. We're installing the doors, so we wanted to get someone kind of local to do the work.
Does the city have a procurement policy that explains what is a discretionary purchase where you can solicit bids versus how many you need, certain thresholds, et cetera?
Yes, the city has a purchase policy.
Is that all, David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Craig, could you total up all the Architectural Hardware bids? They bid each room individually, correct?
Right. 23,100.
23,100
Yes,
as opposed to 33,000?
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7E, approve poverty income standards for 2026 assessments and asset level guideline for 2026 assessments. Staff, could you enlighten us?
Every year, the city needs to approve poverty exemption guidelines. And that has to be done before the March Board of Review. Typically, it's done as part of the consent agenda. At the same time, the meeting schedule is approved by City Council. This year, in your pack, you'll see a note from the city assessor that when the July Board of Review met, that there was some question on maybe changing the poverty exemption guidelines. In your packet also was the worksheet from the state, and the poverty guidelines are listed in there for family units or 1, 2, and so forth. And in the paragraph right above the table, it says these income levels should not be set lower. So I just want to have that conversation with you and let you know that was asked, and we're going to set them with the poverty exemption recommended by the state.
Confusing. Could we get a motion and support on the floor, please?
Make a motion to approve it.
What are we approving? The guidelines or by the state, or are we approving creating our own guidelines
By the state.
by the state. Okay, I'll support that.
Very good. Anybody have any questions for staff regarding this before we take a vote?
Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
If I could, I'd like to explain this a little more. During my election, I was looking for ways to lower taxes for elderly, low-income individuals in the city. And I ran across this as a way that we could lower taxes by creating our own exemption guidelines. The state gives us a base guideline, and we could go above and beyond that if we so choose. If we wanted to, right now, the guideline is 14,000 for a family of 15,000 for a family of one, 21,150 for a family of two. If we wanted to increase that and make a 50% reduction instead of 100%, because this is a 100% reduction by the state, we could create a 50% reduction if somebody falls into a category just above the state's recommended poverty rate. Does that make sense? And that's what the discussion was about. So, and I just wanted to explain that a little bit more. This is a way that we could lower taxes for low-income families in the city. I know in the past it's been the thought process that city council has no control over lowering taxes, and that's just not true. And I just wanted to bring that to light.
Jerry, this is a method to do that?
Exactly, for low income. Yeah, the state sets a base minimum guideline, but the city can go above the state's recommended guideline if they so choose.
That's what we're doing.
No, that's not what we're doing. We're keeping it by the state's recommended guidelines. But this is an option we have if we decide to go that route.
Are we making a motion to accept the state standards? Are we making a motion to amend our own standards for the city, making the standards higher, i.e. easier to qualify for a poverty exemption?
I believe the motion was just to follow the state's recommendation.
So if we're just going to follow the state recommendation, which is what we've been doing, why is this agenda item on here? And what analysis has been done at all to determine whether someone who makes more money than the state poverty level is in fact, you know, in poverty in the city of Ferrisburg?
Well, we have to approve this every year. That's one of our duties as council. We have to approve the exemption rate every year by the state to answer that question. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
So I'm willing to consider raising the poverty standards and making it easier and not just using the state guidance. My assumption is the state includes cities like Detroit, et cetera, that are probably bringing the average down.
Mm-hmm. There are some municipalities that choose to do that. I believe there's some in Muskegon County that choose to do that. It's just up to us and what we choose to do. I guess I fail to see a big need for it in the city of Ferrisburg. I don't think that many homeowners would meet those qualifications here. And so for that reason, I've decided to just kind of back down from this issue.
So Jerry, you're supportive of the rates that we've got a motion to support on?
Yeah, by the
Okay.
state rates. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
I'd be willing to table the item and look at it more in depth and see if we can give people who are technically above the state poverty level in the city of Ferrisburg a break on their taxes if we can come up with numbers that work.
Is that doable with the timeline, Craig?
It's March. Yeah, but that poverty exemption doesn't matter.
The reason I'm saying that is the memo that came from the city assessor, whoever's on her board who proposed this, said that this is what they wanted. They wanted it to be easier for residents in the city of Ferrisburg to qualify for a poverty exemption if they made more money than the state minimum. So I'm willing to entertain that and listen to this person if they have data to come forward and say, these are the rates I think you should set it at, versus just accepting the standard that we've been doing year after year. Times are tough. I mean, costs are so high. It costs a minimum of $100 to go to the grocery store nowadays. If there's time, I would be willing to discuss and see if there's something we can do to cut people a break.
Timeline, Craig.
Next meeting, we want to have it done before the March board review. Well, we might be able to do March 2nd.
Dave, I agree with you. I'm actually the one who brought this up to the board. And it wasn't necessarily something I was thinking of implementing. It was just something that I wanted to explore more and look into and see if it would be something that would benefit our community. But after talking to Heather, she felt that not enough folks would qualify, not enough homeowners would qualify in Ferrisburg to make it a real doable, yeah, I guess, to say, yeah. So, but it's up to you. I mean, I'll support it, definitely, if
Well, if we
you want
change,
to look into it.
if we change the motion, that would give you time that we'd be able to investigate this over the next couple of weeks before our next meeting. And it sounds like that might be worthwhile.
Sure.
Your
Does
Honor,
that sound good?
Do you want to change the motion?
would you like to table this?
Please.
Make a motion to table it
Support,
pending investigation. How's
Okay.
that?
support.
Any discussion regarding tabling this to our next meeting? No? Amber?
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
No.
Councilmember Kate,
No.
Councilmember DeWitt,
No.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, moving on to,
Dawn,
yes,
I'd like to know who's going to do the investigation for this, now that it's tabled?
we can,
Craig, is that something, Singleton that can do, or is that something the staff has?
Staff would do, and I can maybe talk to Councilmember Cook about some options.
Thank you.
and Councilmember Sias as well. Board review. Satisfactory? Okay, very good. Okay, moving on to 7F, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve the 2025-2026 city budget amendments. Craig, you want to go over these for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
So during our last audit, the auditor mentioned a couple things that he wanted the city to start doing. One is the Kitchen Link was dune preserve. In the past, the city has paid all expenses for the dune preserve, and then once a year we request reimbursement from the Grand Haven Community Foundation for those funds. When we did that, we just added that as an asset on the books, and then when we got reimbursed from the Grand Haven Community Foundation, we took that asset off. Also, the city has taken the lead on doing the lift station project with Spring Lakes Township at lift station number 1. The city is kind of overseeing that project. We're paying the invoices, and then we're billing Spring Lake Township for their portion of it. The same thing for the Tri-Cities Connector Path. There was some, the city took the lead on that. We were paying the invoices as they come in, and then we would bill the other 2 communities for their share of the project. And so the auditors have indicated they would like to count that reimbursement as revenue and keep the total expense on the city books for those 2 projects. Also, there was the Tri-Cities Connector Path and the Fire Barn Park. We anticipated those projects being done by June 30th of 2025. They all ran a little longer, so we didn't include as much money in the current fiscal year for 2026-27. So we're increasing those line items a little bit to account for the work that was done in this fiscal year.
Entertain a motion and support on this.
I'll make a motion to support. Support.
Okay. Any discussion from anybody or any questions for staff?
Craig, basically, this is just a different way to flow money through the account.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can I reiterate what Councilman DeWitt is saying? We are not making a net increase in our budget. We're just factoring accounts to meet our auditor's requirements, i.e. we're not spending more money. We're not asking for that. We're just trying to fix some accounting irregularities.
Correct.
Very good. Anyone else? Hearing none. Amber?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7G, discussion and take action if appropriate to waive Personnel Manual, Section 2.5C, nepotism, to hire for seasonal help a relative of an employee who works in the same department. Staff, you want to fill us in, please?
Yes, we have a public works technician. His daughter will be off for the summer. She's looking for some seasonal help or seasonal work. And so as they're related, it kind of falls under nepotism policy in the city employee manual. So this is something that city council needs to approve. The employee might have supervision over the seasonal help. And so we just want city council to be aware that there's two related people working on the same department at this time. This is just be for the summer help. She'll really be tasked with watering the flowers and the trees that were recently planted last fall.
I'll
make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Any discussion regarding this matter?
Yeah, quick question, Craig. Have we waived this in the past?
Yes, we have for a couple of public works technicians.
Okay, I guess that's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns? Seeing none. Amber?
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7H, discussion and to take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a regular agenda item on January 19th, 2026. Greg, what do you got on the list so far?
It should be February 16th.
February 16th, sorry about that.
My suggestions would be to talk about the city charter, authorized millage, and also the street millage that expires December of '26.
Does anyone else have anything to add? No? Okay.
Can you repeat that, Craig? What did you say? What was the first thing on what was the first work session?
The city authorized charter millage.
Just something we have to vote on, take action on.
Please, motion to schedule the work session.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion for this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support. Very good. Anything else from you?
I would like to add something. So what we're talking about, the second item, is there is a gap between what we are legally authorized to assess for our taxes versus, what voters approved, and there's a gap because of Proposal A. So I believe what we're going to discuss is the Headley Amendment. So just wanted to throw that out there for people who are watching at home. The other thing I will mention is we had asked city staff to prepare a near-term budget forecast, so about 5 years out, showing where we think we're going to be running over budget for different items. I think that we need that in order to have a meaningful discussion about possibly putting a Headley override on an August ballot.
We'll have that information for you.
You'll email that to city council?
Yeah, I'm not sure when it'll be done, but it'll be for sure in the packet.
Okay, very good. So before the next meeting?
Yes.
Good. Anyone else have anything to add for the work session? Nope. Okay, Amber?
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to 7I work session, City Hall rental rates.
So a couple years back, city council got together and come up with rental rates for leasing space here at City Hall. In your packet was a request from Basketball Basics to renew their lease for another 2 years. They've been leasing from the city for probably since 2010. They use the gym on the evenings and on weekends for basketball clinics. His proposal is in your packet. He's requesting that the rent be $900 a month for 3 years. That's lower than what city council has approved. And so we want to have a discussion on feedback from city council on the proposed rates.
Okay. Take a motion and support on this. So we
This is
can
just a
discuss.
work session here.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian.
Connor?
You bet.
Greg, what was the approved rent that we upped last fall, I think it was? What that, it went from $850 to what?
So the gym space is $1,200 a month, 5% of building utilities and snow plowing, and the floor has to be required every 2 years with an annual increase of 10%.
So we jumped it up from $850 to $1,200?
Correct. And that was over a 3-year period. So the increase for year one was $13,000. We did not increase that because he had a current lease. So he's been at $850 for an additional year.
What's our margin between the rental revenue we are forecasting to get this year and the cost of upkeep of this building?
So the cost for him being in here in the gym is basically just electricity. The gym's already heated. There's no air conditioning in the summer. So it's just the lights that he uses during when his clinics are here.
I think a previous council member met with this person during, the last council group and said that the increase in the rental rate represented a hardship. Is that a correct understanding? It was before I was elected. Also, Debbie Murdoch made a comment, this was before I was elected too, that this building is in need of several repairs. Some of the rental rates I think that we're charging are not commensurate with the condition of the building. Do we need to raise rental rates in order to make improvements to the building? And I'll throw in a caveat that we're replacing 3 doors for $23,100. Do we have more money to make additional upgrades? I think the comment was made that there are windows that are busted or leaking somewhere, and a tenant is having to deal with that
Well, they left.
because of that
They
issue.
moved on.
That's embarrassing. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable necessarily holding our current tenants to that rate. I think we need to have a plan to improve this space and maybe get some better feedback from our tenants about what can they afford. This is a public service. We own this building. We don't have to charge a market rate.
And so Jim's proposal is essentially what he can afford.
That's correct. But just as a caveat, he's paying $850 a month, and he gets $400 a month for boot scooters. So his net pay is $450. And he's been at the $850 for a number of years, I think since about 2020.
Your Honor?
Yes.
To Mr. Cook's comment, the gym, the only thing we're gonna do in the gym is replace the outside doors, correct? Other than that, it's structurally sound and it's prime space.
Correct, yeah. There's no planned maintenance for it. Well,
Floor refinishing.
so there's 2 blowers in there, heater blowers in the gym. One on the north end, one on the south end. They came in, did some maintenance, and replaced the bells and the filters on the north end, and it went to the south end and indicated that the south furnace really is not working. And so I'm not sure how long it's been in there. Never heard anybody complain about being cold in there. People are running around, you know, they don't need it too warm in there, but someday, I'm not sure that if the north furnace ever goes, you know, the south furnace is gonna have to be replaced. I don't know if we do that before the north furnace goes, so we have two running at all times, or
Your Honor, I don't see any reason to reduce the rates myself. Now, in one of the agreements, he was supposed to refinish the floor.
so the original lease has the city refinish the floor every 4 years. When the city council revised the rental rates for the whole building, they included that the floor be refinished every 2 years
By us or
by the tenant.
by the tenant?
That's around, it's probably close to $3,000 now.
Yeah,
I personally think we should put it 900, and then they pay for the refinishing, for now. We could give them a 1 year and revisit it.
He's proposing that split it. 900 a month and split it.
Split it with Walden Green.
Oh, with Walden Green.
Right, Walden Green uses the gym on Thursdays and Fridays for PE.
Does it need to be refinished every 2 years?
That's what the city council approved when they approved this rental rate agreement.
I mean, I think Deb's right. I think it needs to have some sort of an increase, even if it's incremental. We do have a responsibility to our taxpayers to be good stewards of the space and not give it away, especially for a for-profit business. Yeah, I'd be supportive of 900, Deb, if you think that's fair. Or, you know, whatever we decide, just some sort of an increase, and then we can talk about it again in 2 years.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I think I could buy the 900 a month for 1 year, 950 and 1,000. I mean, $900 for 3 years is what he's asking for, correct?
All right, typically, we've gone 2 years with a chance to renew it for another 2 years.
Well, his proposal is for 3 years. So we
Correct.
could make it for 3 years and do the suggestion that Mr. DeWitt has got and follow what else he's got proposed here. That way the city's not on the hook for refinishing the floor, is that right?
Correct.
It's split between Walden Green and Basketball Basics.
Well, that would have to be a conversation between Basketball Basics and Walden Green.
Your Honor, now we're jacking up Walden Green's rent because they're gonna have to pay a percentage of the floor maintenance, cleaning, or whatever of the gym. Their rate's gonna jump up. Now, what are we gonna do with them?
They don't have to. We just approved a lease for them. So we're asking them to amend the lease, right?
Well,
We're going back to them and saying, well, you pay more money.
They approved, we're in a lease agreement with Walden Green for $10,000 for 2 years. If we're gonna propose a amendment to that lease agreement, Walden Green's gonna have to approve it or not approve it.
Right.
so basically, we're gonna up their rent. If they approve it.
That would be an increase to their cost, yes.
So how do we protect ourselves where, if Walden Green does not agree with it, that Basketball Basics is gonna pay it?
Well, the policy that was approved by city council says that floors are required to be finished every 2 years.
Regardless.
That's regardless.
So I guess, we renew it $900 the first year, 950 and 1,000. That seems reasonable to me. We're going from 850 to 1,200. I argued against it when we did it, but, we did it.
When's the last time they refinished it, the floor crack?
4 years, it would be done this summer.
2022 was the last time they were.
Yep.
And we paid for it.
Yes, we did. City did. And currently, Basketball Basics does not pay any utilities or snow plowing cost. He's asking that to be waived as well.
So we could have him pay for half of the floor refinishing.
The policy
Is that
indicates,
fit- pardon me?
the policy says that he pays for it all.
I think we should go at 900 and he pays for the whole refinishing
I mean, plowing was expensive,
and utility.
and he's the only one that's here on Saturday.
So you wanted to pay 5% utilities for snow plowing, gas, and electric, and water.
I guess we're fishing around here. What would you recommend we do with it?
Policy was that the tenant would pay 5% of utilities for snow plowing.
I mean, it's 83.25.
That was roughly, yes.
I think every other tenant pays it,
So,
other than Walton Green.
Walnut Green does not, they paid the $10,000 flat. The daycare pays it. Pioneer Resources, when they were here, they paid it, but Pioneer Resources is no longer here. So the only tenant that pays the 5% utilities right now is the daycare business.
That's the only tenant we have at this point, correct? For daycare?
Gateway Church uses the one room still.
Well, is everyone supportive of the incremental $900?
That seems better than what we proposed previously, so yes,
Incremental.
incremental would be great.
I'm not on board for them paying 1% of the utility. They pay for the floor refinishing and they pay the 900.
How does that sound to everybody?
I'm just along for the ride.
Okay?
Sounds fair.
So we're talking
If the
nine-
other tenants pay for utilities, why? Well, yeah, but why would
Down to
we
one.
exempt him?
I would almost rather do the opposite and have them pay like everybody else does and we cover the floor. It's a little more expensive, I guess.
So we're talking 900, 950, or 1,000, or 900 for 3 years.
I would go 900, 950, 1,000.
And the floor.
You guys wanna pay for have them pay for the floor, or do you wanna have them?
Will wants them to not pay.
Well,
I don't care.
I just think that level sets across other tenants. Because everyone is.
Yeah, and if we have new tenants move in, we would expect them to pay utilities, so I think we should have them pay a share of utilities and plowing. As far as the floor, yeah, I don't know, it's up to you guys.
But you look at Jim's proposal and he's saying 900 a month for 3 years. We'll do incremental. And then the second one is no utilities. I cannot easily budget for this. And I can understand that. You could budget for floor refinish.
Okay, well then we'll do that.
You know, we still gotta keep in mind, he's a for-profit business. He's not like a nonprofit that we gave typically breaks to.
But it's also for the kids. It's a good place for the kids to come. Good, safe, healthy place.
Would the council be amenable to $950, and $1,000, and he covers the floor?
Works for me.
Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, I guess. I think he should be on the hook for it all. I think he should do the floor and the utilities
I
personally.
understand it, and but the man is saying, hey, don't do utilities on me, I can't easily budget for this. And I'm just looking at a way to put it to bed that the taxpayers are still gonna be made whole.
Yeah.
So what if we do utilities and redo the floor every 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't think we need the floor done every 2 years,
Yeah, what's the
I don't want anybody to pay for it just to pay for it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
It does get used. You go in there, you can tell where all the finish is wearing off just for 4 years.
And Craig, when they refinish the floor, are they sanding?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so there's only so many times you can sand the floor before it's time to yank it. So it's not really in our interest to resurface it early.
Right, it's more aesthetics and the slipperiness of the floor when they're playing basketball that
Yeah.
they don't slip as much.
Can we have someone look at the floor and tell us whether it needs to be refinished regardless of our 2-year policy?
I guess if we have a floor company come in and they're gonna say yes every year.
Yeah, it needs it.
Can we have someone independent look at the floor and tell us if it needs to be refinished? Good point. Yeah.
I think it's a safety issue to have the floor done every so often for basketball basics, just so they don't slip. There's always concern. They try to keep it as clean as they can before they come in and do clinics. But that's their main concern is a safety issue with their players.
How much does it cost to redo the floor? Was it $8,300 or?
It was around $2,800 or $2,600 4 years ago.
it was $2,635.50.
How much are our utilities per year?
$86 or $83.25 a month.
That's 5%.
That's 5%. So that's what they would pay. So it'd be cheaper for them to do utilities.
But they just don't want to because it's too much risk. They don't know if it's going to be higher or lower.
I don't know. I interpret that as it's just too difficult to budget.
I think we should just give them a break and tell them to pay utilities and do a not to exceed cost. That way they get a cheaper rate. They're paying for the utilities. We take the risk of trying to figure out is it going to be a cold year or a warm year out of the equation and leave it at that.
And the city would be responsible for the floor.
Yeah, it's our building. We should fix the floor.
How does that sound to everyone?
I'm supportive of it.
Okay, I am as well.
So just to clarify, that's $950, $1,000 plus utilities. Okay. Then the next question that he brings up in his proposal, right now he cannot start before 4:30 in the evening. He's requesting to come in at 4 o'clock just for privates, which is just a coach and a player. Staff doesn't have a problem with one player coming in and a coach coming in. There's a concern if multiple people come in this building when the city hall is trying to operate.
How does staff feel about this?
You want to speak on staff?
Like Craig mentioned, it's okay when they have one-on-one interactions and one player in the gym. It's when the halls start filling up and they're bouncing the balls on the floor and at the wall. It starts to get distracting while we're working.
That would have to be mandatory, Craig, one person and the coach.
Staff doesn't have a problem with that.
And he sounds like he understands people need to stay out of the hallway and in the gym and all of that, so I'd be
I
supportive.
mean, you
of it.
can't do city business with basketballs bouncing off the walls.
It's a little noisy.
Yeah.
So council sounds like they would be amenable to that.
Okay.
If staff is.
Okay. And then the other thing is, it's in there, he's asking to use on Fridays when the city's not using it. Typically, right now, the lease says that he does not use it on Fridays, but many times he has asked to use it on Fridays and the city didn't have anything going, we would just let him use it at no extra charge. So Friday's back in the equation for leases.
As long as you're good with it.
Yeah.
And the staff are good with it.
Okay, all right.
That is not during the same time Walden Green does.
Right.
Use that.
Okay,
You have anything else, Craig, on that?
I'm all set, thank you.
You're all set?
Last thing. We typically give him the ability to extend another 2 or 3 years.
It's usually, it's been a 2-year lease with an option to renew for another 2 years.
Right, so do we want to give him an option to renew for another 2 or 3 years at a certain price?
I would recommend 2 years and
At the $1,000?
after 1,000. Why don't we just do a 3-year lease and then we can revisit this?
Okay.
Sounds good? Is that it, William? Okay, very good. Moving on to 7J, work session on the 4th Street paving. Staff, what do you got?
So the city engineer right now is working on design plans for repaving Pine Street from 3rd Street to Ridge Avenue. We were talking among staff and we asked the question, should we look at 4th Street repaving that while we're doing this project? There was some conversation in the past about trying to repave or pave all the dirt streets in the city. 4th Street is basically a dirt street, and there's 2 other dirt streets in the city. Just want to touch base with City Council to see if there's interested in paving 4th Street. If so, what's the scope of that? Would we want to do it as wide as we could with the cul-de-sac on the east end, and possibly make improvements in there so possible kayak launch could be installed there someday in the future? Or we just want to pave it with 22-foot lanes, or just leave it as is?
With the barge work that happens over there, that's quite active, isn't it?
So right now, the city has requires a permit, $50 a year for a barge to be able to use into 4th Street. If that street was paved, that process would have to go away.
Where else can people load barges in Spring Lake or River?
They would have to go to a commercial dock.
Yes.
What kind of money do we generate from that barge?
$50, we have 4 or 5 barge companies.
So I mean in total in the course of a year,
$250, $300.
250 or $300?
Yeah.
You're kidding me. Why is it, let's pave it and make a kayak launch for 300.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I was assuming we're talking thousands. Yeah, $50 a crack, but you know, if you do it 100 times, that's a serious money. You do it
$50 a kayak.
I think we should pave it, and then we'd have parking for the kayak launch if we ever put that in. It would be a perfect spot for it, less boat traffic.
Okay. So the cost estimate for that work would be about $210,000. There is some money that's included in the city budget for 25-26 for some local streets, so this money would come out of that line item.
Can you repeat that? If we pave the dirt section from Pine to the Spring Lake, it would be $210,000?
That's correct. That's with engineering.
Would that work include some drainage work? Because there's a slope there. There's a lot of sediment that goes into Spring Lake. I'm afraid if we pave it, the water's going to wash off that factory and undermine the pavement, and it's going to be all spalled and cracked.
I don't know the answer to that for sure. I know the public works supervisor has talked to the engineer about that when he prepared the cost estimate, but I'll double check into that.
The other question I have is I've been contacted by a couple residents who state, I live in a subdivision, my road is horrible. When are you going to fix it? Do we have a priority of the different roads in the city, how bad of condition they are in, and when we think that they could be either resurfaced or ripped out and completely replaced? I don't want to approve $210,000 for a road that frankly no one uses when there may be subdivision roads that people use every day that are in poor condition.
So the public works supervisor has put that list together with the ratings for all the streets in the city. And when those get done, it'll be part of the conversation at the next work session regarding the street millage.
I would like to see that list and then prioritize this $210,000 section in relationship to the other roads in the city that need fixing and maintenance.
I feel like this is a significant amount of money to pave that short stretch of road. Also, I really don't believe that's a feasible kayak launch due to the boat traffic and the rough seas in that area. It's a narrow passage through Spring Lake there, and everybody going from the river to Spring Lake or back and forth to Grand Haven travels through that one narrow stretch. And I'm not sure that it would be the best spot for a kayak launch. I think that the traffic is way too strong in that area.
Okay.
Frankly, I was surprised that this street would be being considered to be paved after we've got other streets like Mr. Cook is talking about that are in such bad shape.
The reason it was brought up is because of the Pine Street, the contractor will be right there. So we're going to continue this conversation at the next work session when we talk about street millage.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Everybody good with that? Moving on to a 7K work session, proposed city charter amendments. Jeff, what do you have here?
So in your packet was there was a discussion on changing the number of city council members. Last time that was changed was back in 1991. It went from a 6-member council to a 7-member council. Also in your packet was a list of charter amendments that were presented to the voters back in 2024. Some passed, some did not. This is a final discussion to see if there's interest in city council to put these ones that did not pass back on the ballot this year in 2026.
Mr. Cook, you've talked a couple times about the Headley override, and city voters have been supportive of the street millage, and they've been supportive of the other millage that we have for transportation. And I don't see a chance in hell of getting Headley override. Just like I don't see a forever millage like Grand Haven has passing as well. What does council have to say?
Mr. Mayor, I agree with you.
Well, that's
That's refreshing. Your Honor?
Yes.
Previous councils have put the Headley override on 2 or 3 times now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last time was in 2008. There's been some communities that have had some success with the Headley override. Last year, Holland had their Headley rolled back on the ballot in the past. They wanted to raise it to 17 mills, their charter limit, and with the indication that they were going to keep the millage rate at the same as it's been levied for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. So they increased their available millage by a sizable amount. So, you know, there is some success in some of these communities in increasing it.
Trust me, I know you'd love to see it happen, and I certainly would as well, but I just, particularly after the voters, how they treated us with our charter amendments at the last election.
I mean, we asked for a few dollars and we got slammed down. So, yeah, no.
Your
Can I
Honor?
make a comment? Sorry, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. DeWitt.
No, Dave. Go
Okay,
ahead.
David?
My comment is, we're discussing whether we want to put this on the ballot, so we would let voters decide. As a voter and as somebody up here, I would be very curious, again, I've already stated this, to see what our 5-year projection is. If we're going to run into budget overrides and we're going to have to cut services, et cetera, I think that that's something that the voter should look at in relationship to how can we meet those shortfalls.
Yeah.
Do we increase taxes? Do we do shared services? I'll, pound that drum again. What do we do? I think that we need to provide more information. It's not necessarily I don't want to present this to voters because they're going to vote it down. While, if you don't provide any more background information, obviously no one wants their taxes to be increased. But if we can't afford things like the city trash pickup, et cetera, it might be a different conversation in someone's head of, I'm willing to consider paying more taxes if I get to retain this or if I get this service.
Mhm. Well, the city's been able to operate as we have been with the two millages, with the two bonds. The 5-year projection is going to be very helpful to see if we can continue operating in that fashion, or if we got to do something different.
Yes, and that maybe is more of a conversation for the next meeting. This meeting here is basically a feedback on the charter amendments that did not pass in 2024. If there's interest in putting these back on the ballot in 2026.
I mean, I'd like to see proposal 1, 3, and 5 put back in.
Yeah, these are all pretty much good common sense proposals, don't you feel, William?
Yeah, I mean, I could take it or leave it with the, council pay increases. I do think that's a way to incentivize residents in running for public office. But I could take it or leave it. I think the more common sense ones, right? The making the registered electors nomination petition to be just the state minimum requirement, I think makes sense. I think eliminating the need for our clerk to write the determination on the nomination petition, we found when we talked to the county that no one in the state does that. Again, making more uniform with other municipalities, and then the gender terms too. That was just another best practices that was brought to the team to adopt. I think they all make sense.
Mhm.
I think we may have had a combination of overwhelming our voters and poorly communicating them.
So which proposals would you?
I would do 1, 3, and 5.
I would agree with that sentiment. I think if you put more than 3 on here, a voter's going to look at it and say, what are you trying to pull on me? I'm just going to vote no for everything and not research it. I don't necessarily agree with the priority, but I agree to limit it probably to 3 or less.
Anyone else have anything to add?
Well, that priority was pretty much dictated by the way the city charter reads now. We took it in the order that is presented. We didn't just pick one over another. We took it in the order it was presented in the city charter, discussed it that way.
We spent a lot of time, myself, Bill, Gary, we spent a lot of our own personal time working on it to get something on the ballot, but it was too much.
It was a lot.
It was
Yeah.
just too much.
So would those of you that did that work on it, would you be in favor of 1, 3, and 5? Those didn't pass last time. One, 3, and 5.
Johnny?
Say that again?
1, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
Support of putting those.
If you can't get 15 signatures to run for city council or mayor, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I would be against number 1. 2, Mr. Cook interrupted my thought on the Headley override. Just keep in mind that every time we've gone to the voters for equipment millage, street millage, they have been supportive of us. You jack up their rates on with the Headley override, those funds are gonna be gone. There's a limit to what people are gonna pay. I want to throw that out there because 20 years they've supported the equipment millage, and they was recently supported street millage
The bike path.
and the bike path, yeah. So when we've asked for a specific project, we've been successful. I just want to throw that out.
I'd like to say
realize-
too,
Headley override would probably be a wonderful thing, but I think if it did pass, the rest of everything else be shot down.
A lot of our residents in Ferrisburg are retirees with a fixed income, and we need to keep that in mind. Me being one of them, I understand there's not an unlimited amount of money. So, I mean, we don't want to drive people out of Ferrisburg by raising that Headley override and making it unlivable for them. There is a limit.
And the citizens have been supportive when there's a need for the motor pool in streets. Yep.
Back to the subject, I'm all for 1, 3, and 5.
Okay, good, good. All right.
Anything else? Jason?
You need anything else, staff?
The only thing would be August or November ballot. August is a primary for the governor, and the November ballot would be for the governor race.
I think the primary would be the best. Probably have the least amount of issues on the ballot.
Yes.
Because you're gonna have a larger turnout on the general than on the primary. Because if nobody cares who's running for governor, what's the turnout gonna be?
I agree with that.
I think the general would be a better, plus we have time to get it on, because this is a process, correct?
Would that be better for you, Amber?
I think we could do either, but I would agree with his sentiment. The numbers for a general versus a primary election are higher.
Okay, so we're able to reach more voters. Okay. Everybody able for November?
I'm going to ask a question I already know the answer to, but just so it's on the record, no one is supportive of my ideas as far as a priority with 1, 3, and 5. Correct?
What do you mean priorities with 1, 3, and 5?
So we had agreed that 3 is probably the most that we would want to put on the ballot. There are several in here. There's more than 3. I had 2 ideas. One idea was reducing the number of council people from 7 to 5. The other idea was making it easier for people to attend remotely. I know that that's probably going to be difficult with the way the OMA is interpreted. That thought dovetails nicely with an ADA accommodation and an opinion by the Attorney General's office of the state of Michigan stating that remote access could be allowed for people who had an ADA based and approved by the city exemption to attend meetings. I think when I look through the past election and I read these things, what we're trying to accomplish is better citizen engagement, easier elections. So when I read most of these things, it's about making our existing processes easier, but we're a town of less than 3,000 people. Most of the people, I would say a large majority, not most, are gone in the winter. There aren't many people who can run or want to run for the 7 seats we have open. So instead of trying to entice, we just slash 2 of the seats and there's more competition because we reduce supply relative to demand.
I disagree with you totally, totally. That's ridiculous. We have all these different opinions here, and that's good. Everybody has their own thought process, and we talk it out. If you cut back down, you're going to have a block of people voting and maybe controlling the whole city. No, this is great. This works really well, I feel.
You're happy with 7?
I think 7's great.
Your Honor?
Yes.
To Mr. Cook's point, I have an opinion from the Attorney General. Open Meeting Act has been interpreted to require members of public bodies to be physically present at meetings held within a physical space. The only objection or exception would be to accommodate the absence of a member of the public body due to the member's military service or military duty. So I don't know as legally remote would be even legal in the state of Michigan. And that's what the Attorney General says.
I agree. The ADA exception, though, was something that is kind of a gray area. And if our charter allowed and had a process that didn't override the state law, I think you might get certain people who would apply and then ask for an ADA exemption. But what I'm trying to do is just throw those two things out there. They were part of this discussion, but I can appreciate everyone's opinion. And if the other ones are a higher priority, that's fine. I just didn't want to gloss over them.
Yeah, I've had several discussions with citizens over the last couple of weeks. Throwing the 5-member, they said that they felt that it would reduce spirited debate, and they were against it. The ones I've talked to, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Dave, could we rectify that issue with, rather than eliminating 2 seats, what if we eliminated term limits? Then we wouldn't run into the problem of not enough people wanting to run all the time if candidates weren't forced off council after 8 years. Probably would have more people that would stick around and serve for 10 or 12 years.
Explain that to me. So for
Well, now
2
we-
terms, then you're done. You have to wait a cycle to come back.
Right. Instead of, your concern, I believe, for the amount of council seats was the vacancy of not enough people applying to run for those seats, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I won. There was little to no competition. All I did was fill out a petition, get my paperwork filled in. I mean, here I am. I got the most votes out of anyone, not to brag, but it seems like it's too easy to get elected. If there were less seats, I think we would have more candidates running against each other on the ballot.
If we eliminated term limits, then more candidates would stick around and possibly fill those seats. I think term limits should be something we look at in a city of, 3,000 people. I think that could be an issue.
I come from a city in Pennsylvania. My father was a city councilman for over 20 years. They just kept re-electing him, and he just kept staying. And they were very happy with the job he did. So, and it was a small town like here.
I think effectively that would fix the issue at hand. I guess the question is, do we want the same people running, or do we want new people, possibly newer ideas?
I think term limits are a good thing. Because you turn over the city council, you get new people, new ideas. You could be here, we could have Mr. Carlson as mayor for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want that. No, you wouldn't want that.
I don't want that.
But
The
Mike,
the churn is healthy.
how many years have you been on council now, total?
I don't know, 14, 15.
Right, so,
But I was
to
off for
Jerry's
2
point.
years. I was off for 2 years,
right.
Yeah,
you know.
but why go through that? I mean,
Yeah.
why
I mean,
have,
yeah, because now you're back.
But I didn't have to come back.
No.
No,
It
you
was my
chose to.
choice.
I'm just saying, in a town with 3,000 residents, we have a slim pool to pick candidates from, and with term limits, I think that eliminates a lot of people that would generally stick around, but are forced to leave councils.
I think the way it is now with, you have a break essentially is a happy medium, between term limits that are strict versus no term limits. If you want, you can come back and ask the voters to vote you back in after 2 years like Mike did, but, then somebody's not running against an incumbent who's been there for 18 years either. I think it just gives a little better competition.
I suppose, but the lack of competition is the issue. There's not enough people who are willing to run, so therefore we have vacant seats, and then we appoint people, and then the community has no say. It's all on the say of the council.
Right. I still think people are more likely to run if there's a vacancy versus running against an incumbent who's been here for 20 years.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah, but is that a healthy system, just to have somebody run because there's no incumbent to run against you?
Well,
What if the incumbent's a better candidate than the one who wants to fill the seat?
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, but
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it seems like a healthier system to me to, and I get term limits, I understand term limits wholeheartedly, and I support term limits for different parts of the government, but I just think a city with such a small pool of residents to choose from, it could be a problem. Something to think about, that's all.
we've done well with our board appointments. Good diverse group is great, and we've had good churn in them, which is good, good turnover, good age spread. I don't see a problem with keeping council at 7 and having term limits. Unfortunately, that does force out good people sometimes. But in 2 years, you can come back for more fun, like Mr. DeWitt.
Yeah, I don't oppose that.
And it's refreshing for us. Those 2 years are refreshing for us, and they're refreshing for the council member, right?
Not really.
And, well, no, but it's not all that bad. So is council amiable to 1, 3, and 5?
Can we talk about 8? So I wasn't here when you guys proposed this, but what is the gap between us and Spring Lake Township, Spring Lake Village, City of Grand Haven? Is the compensation commensurate with those other communities?
They're paid way more. Way more.
Okay.
We haven't done that analysis in a while. I'm not sure what Spring Lake Township is or the Village of Council, Grand Haven, but we can look into that.
wasn't Grand Haven making like $5 grand or $6
Yeah, I
grand,
looked
something like
into
that?
it because that was one of my ideas. I was shocked. We're poorly paid. We are basically a volunteer.
Can staff look at some of the neighboring communities, cities and the close townships, and email city council?
Yep.
Mr. Cook, did you have anything else to talk about with number 9?
No, thank you.
All set?
All set? Okay. Anyone else have anything to talk about with charters? No? Seeing none. Moving on to 7L Smith's Bridge. Mr. DeWitt.
Yeah, I've been reading through the engineering specifications here, and I asked Craig to ask if we have a choice here. It's long and complicated, but anyway, option A is folded steel U-beam and pure cap replacement for $9,360,000. And the engineer's recommendation is option B with substructure replacement using steel rolled I-beams. Did you have a chance to investigate that, Craig?
No, I did look at it though, but the way I read it, the engineer is recommending the more expensive option because the way the piers were and everything. So I think they're at the 9.8 million.
Could you confirm that for us?
Yes.
Because, reading this is long and complicated and boring, but I think that's a better option if we have a choice.
Which option was that, Mike? That was the more expensive option?
It's about 500,000 more.
That's what the engineer recommended though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Need to go with
Yeah,
what they're
yeah, I don't know why we
There would be
Well,
no change
go
in
against
that.
what they recommend.
Well, yeah, but it hasn't been approved, has it? Can you confirm that?
Yeah, I'll confirm it.
That's the option, or if not, if we have a choice in the options?
I'll review with the engineer.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I have a question or comment. So the bridge saga has been going on for a long time. Can we summarize the project succinctly for people who may just be tuning in right now and are new to Ferrisburg? I'm going to make a couple of statements, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bridge needs to be completely demolished, correct, and reconstructed from the ground up. It's not just the decking that's being replaced.
It's the structure and superstructure. The piers are remaining.
The piers are staying, but the structure on top of it is completely shy and needs to go.
Correct.
And we think we're getting money from the state. We have money for preliminary engineering that we're going to be doing this summer, and that barring any other problem, we think construction will begin in 2027.
So the city's not paying any of the engineering, it's all done through MDOT. So there's no out-of-pocket cost for the city for the engineering. The bids are for the bridge are due in June of 2026. The bridge is in part of the MDOT bridge bundle, where there's 7 bridges in that bundle that are being bid at the same time. Once the bid has been awarded by MDOT, the contractor has the option to choose what bridge is done when in order. So I think they have 2 years to get the bridges done once the contract's awarded. So if it's awarded probably in the fall of 2026, they would have until the fall of 2028 to get the project done.
Okay, so by fall of 2028, our current timeline, the bridge would be completely done by that time. The bridge is going to be re-engineered from the pylons up. It's going to have a pedestrian walkway that is separate from where the anglers are, so that there's no competition for space above where cars are driving. That's correct?
So there'll be the bike path, or the sidewalk will be the same, that's on the bayou side now. On the lake side, there'll be an 8-foot path separated with like a guardrail system, like very similar to the bridge that's over by the Spring Lake Country Club.
I like that one. The separation is good. Am I missing anything about the bridge project?
Oh, and Greg, what I'm hearing in Muskegon and what you're hearing at the technical committee is the funding is still all a go and we're in good shape.
That's correct. Yep.
Meanwhile, the bridge is inspected twice a year, and we have an engineer who's doing that. We get a report. We have a weight limit. We have a sign. We had a citizen inquiry about, what are you doing to maintain the bridge in the meantime? I believe our answers was we're getting inspected twice a year. We're having our DPW department go out and fill in potholes. This weather's been brutal for the decking on the bridge. And then we contact police as needed if there's a violation of the 20-ton limit.
That's correct. Yep.
Craig, I do have a question or request pertaining to the bridge safety, or what it is now. So from what I understand, when we were talking about the speed bumps, we talked about speed cameras, and I understand they're not allowed in Michigan like they are in some of the other states. But I think I read something the other day that the state of Michigan is going to use cameras for construction zones
Yes.
coming up this summer. So is there something that can the city look into how we may be able to utilize that same line of thought for the bridge, as far as a camera that's looking for overweight, right, oversized vehicles going over it?
Yes, we'll look into that.
Okay, it's a safety thing, so just like construction, right? Or maybe we throw up a cone and call it a construction.
Good thought, William. Anyone else have anything to add about Smith's Bridge? You're all set, Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that Craig is gonna confirm that we're getting better games or whatever.
Yep, understood. Okay, moving on, number 8, public comments. Do we have any additional public comments this evening? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Report, city manager.
No report?
Okay, city council members, who'd like to go first?
I go.
Okay.
Harbor Transit met last Wednesday. The construction manager, Crispin Company, has awarded the subcontracts that are necessary to get the work started. Groundbreaking for the new operations center has tentatively been scheduled for 2:30 in the afternoon on March 25th. End of report.
Great.
I'll go last.
Rec Commission finalized Party in the Park for this summer. It was the third Wednesday of the month, correct?
Yes,
For, was it May, June, July?
June, July, August.
June, July, and August, with tentative in September,
Yep.
depending on how things go, but sounds like bands are pretty locked on. Food trucks are in process. So yeah, we hope to see everybody down there.
The Beautification Commission met on January 12th. We discussed the flowers for the spring. We made this a decision for our flowers. We also discussed the lack of interest in our light competition at Christmas. Our city manager had to go out into the neighborhoods and nominate people because we didn't have very good nominations. I feel like the weather was our enemy because people just weren't out and about. But I appreciate Craig doing that. Also, we had Councilman Sias come and speak to us about
Better weather.
extending the 4th of July and making it more like a festival. So we, the 5 of us that are on Beautification Commission, will continue to do the 4th of July like we always do. We cannot take on anymore. We're all old, and that's all we can do. We also discussed our Easter egg hunt. We're going to stay with 2,000 eggs this time. I think that works well. But that will be April 4th at 11 a.m. at Williamsbury Park. So anyway, we're still waiting to hear back from Jerry, and if he has something, we would love to help with extending the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Can I take it from there?
Yes.
Yeah, picking it up from where Debbie left off. We had a really good discussion with the Beautification Committee. I think we laid out some guidelines to where we'd like to see the 4th of July go. Of course, that's all due to, response to the city and the people in the city that want more entertainment and more things to do in the city. I think that'll play a big role in that and bring in outside business and interest into the city. And I think that the Beautification Committee does a great job in their own right with the 4th of July now with the parade and the picnic after the parade, and I would like them to continue doing that. What we discussed maybe is creating a new committee for 4th of July that would take it from there and plan other events throughout the week of the 4th of July, concerts, cooking contests, art contests, whatever, people can imagine. We can come up with different things to do, events and different things to draw in outside attention. Of course, it's all dependent on council's approval. Once I get things more organized and more of a thought behind everything, I'll bring it to council and maybe have a work session on it.
Yeah, I think I wanted to add to Jerry, he wants to take it similar to what Spring Lake does with their week-long festival in June. And so, look at that, like craft show.
Yeah.
It's all good ideas.
And I would like to, I don't know, I mean, there's a lot I'd like to do, and I got to talk to a lot of people before I start making any definite plans, but like the Twas Car Show, we can incorporate that in with the 4th of July, just different things like that we can involve the city with different activities we already have, but maybe we can join forces and make a bigger week and bring in more people.
Sounds good. Mr. Cook?
No report.
Okay. Mr. DeWitt?
I got a couple things. Craig, could you update us on the kid that destroyed the cement that got adjudicated at Dallas, whatever?
We filed a claim. It hasn't been finalized yet.
It what?
Has not been finalized yet.
Okay, thank you. Couple citizens have asked me about why boards and commissions are not on the website, the openings.
Those have been corrected.
Okay. The other thing I got is I got an email from Mr. Thomas Serio. alleging city council misconduct. I would like to have the city attorney look at this and make a recommendation back to us as to what's going on with that.
I'll tell you what's going on with it, Mike. You gave them a variance to build this monstrosity house at the end of my street. 4-car garage, massive house. And so for the last 9 months, it's been a living nightmare in my neighborhood. We're a dead-end cul-de-sac. I have not had my garbage picked up. I have not had mail delivered. I can't get out of my driveway. My husband is dying. I can't get hospice nurses in because they're blocking my driveway. That's what's going on. I went out and talked to them. They told me to blow it out my ear, basically. So then I called Thomas, and he did the same and told me if I didn't like it, call the police. So I did. I called the sheriff. Sheriff came. He said, I'll come right over there because he delivers my packet every week. He knows me. And he told them, move, or I'll have them towed. So for like 2 weeks, they moved. And now they're back at it again. And they've been blocking. Today, I had a hospice social worker come. An elderly woman had to park up the street and walk down the slippery road because these young men that are building this house are blocking my driveway. That's what's going on. So there you are.
Well, according to our code of conduct, if he's alleging that you've used your position as a city council member to threaten him.
When he
I
came
don't-
came to visit me, I gave him my city council business card, so he has that. And so during his conversation, he threatened me to call the mayor. And I said, go right ahead, call him. That was what I said.
So the email he's presented to us is not.
No, and I called the sheriff once. He says 3 times. I did not. My neighbors have also gone out there and fought the fight, not just me. But I have a husband that's very sick, and
Well,
they don't care.
I understand all
So
that.
that's
but-
what's going on, and I don't know what he thought he was going to get from that, but hey, feel free.
Well,
So Mike, you're in support of sending that to legal counsel for evaluation, right? Is that what you'd like to see happen?
he's alleging the misconduct by elected official, which is in our code of conduct, which is a violation that she's city council threatened him with actions. I don't know, I don't want.
I'm a citizen, and I have rights to get in and out of my house.
You still are a city councilman.
It doesn't matter. I'm a citizen first.
You're held to a different standard.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
Yeah.
I would,
The mayor talked to him already.
I would like a legal opinion on it.
Okay. So I did call up Mr. Serio after I received the letter. And then I spoke to you, Debbie, well, and suggested that when you have situations that you just call law enforcement, right? Mr. Serio's project is going to be done in a couple weeks. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to have it reviewed by legal counsel. That's not a problem.
When there's a complaint made against anyone on this council or board members, I think it should be investigated, and we should have a clear-cut understanding from legal counsel of ramifications.
That sound fair to everyone?
Well, there's a sheriff report.
I-
You know, he took the
That's-
report, and he, you know, they do, it's
I
an
hope
official report.
I hope there's no misconduct here.
Well, there's
but I would-
not, Mike.
But I would like a legal opinion.
Okay. Does that sound amenable to city council?
I don't want to respond to it
Okay.
because there's a chance that we might actually have to vote on it. I did reach out to the homeowner and answered his question, which was simply, what is the process? And I said, the process is best to contact city staff. These are some of the procedures that you have. I explained a little bit about Mrs. Murdoch's situation. I'm very sensitive to that. I did drive down the street in the snow in my four-wheel drive with snow tires, and I could see what she was talking about. That being said, I think that this is a matter that could be worked out between two neighbors. So that's all I have to say on the matter. I don't have an opinion either way at this point.
Your Honor, I don't know what sending it to a lawyer is gonna achieve, honestly, without any type of ethics ordinance. What do you think? Like, I mean,
But it's,
I mean, all you can really do
we
is,
just eliminated the ethics ordinance. This is under the code of conduct of the city charter.
You have a citizen alleging misconduct. That's different than the parking issue or anything else. That the issue is what you outlined,
Which is in the city charter, that an elected official can't use their position to intimidate, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of stuff there.
We can have the city attorney clarify that. I don't see a problem with that. What do you guys think?
yeah, I guess it's in
I don't
scope.
want any, I don't want
If I could have
any,
used my influence, I wouldn't have been going through hell for the last 6 months. You know?
And your neighbors. too.
And my
They're all
neighbors
gonna-
also, everybody. We're not getting mail and garbage picked up.
I understand your plight, but you stepped over the line when you, as a elected official, you made,
So because I'm a councilman, I don't have rights? But
You
my
can't say-
volunteer position is saying I don't have rights to get in and out of my my driveway?
If I can interject here, there's an allegation. I think that if we're going to have it investigated, I think it's fair to both parties to respond to that allegation instead of debate whether there was misconduct or not. We don't know at this point. We just have an allegation. We have what one person says, we have what the other person says. I think we need to be fair. Debbie is a citizen. She can file a complaint. We have a police report. We have a note from a citizen alleging that she did something wrong. There are policies and procedures in place. I think it's something that should have been referred to staff to try to deal with. I don't know if that's happened or not, but I would like the issue to be resolved amicably and not politically for the best interest of the city, Debbie, and her neighbor.
I have as well, and it's, but the neighbors aren't getting trash pickup or mail right now. That still doesn't change what you're bringing up. What the
I is sympathize, I've been down that street, several times. I sympathize with you, Debbie, but
Well, there was really no misconduct. I gave him my business card in the very get-go when he first started building in June. So he knew I was a councilman at that point. So when I called him at his work, he gave me his business card, and I said, can you please have these men not block my driveway and my mailbox? Because I actually got a call from this side of the state's head of the United States Post Office wanting to know why they weren't able to deliver my mail anymore. I got a call from this side of the state's Michigan head guy. I have his home number at home. So when he came at me with his attitude, I said, listen, stop this. And he refused. He told me, I will not. And you can just deal with it. Not my problem, is what he said. And that's when I called the sheriff. The sheriff said, yes, you will move your car.
well,
And so, this is how it is. And that's how I say it.
My position is we are held to a different standard as elected officials. If any inkling of misconduct or allegation of misconduct, I feel it should be investigated. That's my.
I don't see a path forward. Anyone have any suggestions?
Can we just have city invest, refer to the
Certainly
attorney?
could.
Liable for.
You feel comfortable with that, Craig, getting a hold of Mr. Serio and Debbie?
I could do that, but I'm probably gonna need some legal advice once I,
We're gonna have to get legal advice. Couple times.
Enough? Sound fair to everyone?
Hopefully he can talk to both parties and settle something.
Well, he's moving in. The project is over. So the construction's done. That's it. He's moving in next week. So there will be no more construction trucks. It's over. It's just been 9 months of hell.
Okay, Craig, so you, staff can take care of that?
yes.
All right, that'd be a good thing. Okay, very good. You have anything else to report, Mr.?
No.
Okay, very good. Mayor's report. I appreciate all the well wishes with the passing of my father last Wednesday. I'm glad I'm able to be here tonight. And felt bad that we canceled our last city council member meeting, but the weather was. End of report.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.